Hi everyone, it's Lulu. So I mentioned on my Facebook page that it was a gorgeous day, and it is. So I am back on my deck, and you'll be hearing the planes go by. Hopefully Lucy and Banks will stay nice and kind of quiet. If not, we'll have to stop and put them in the house. I am so disappointed. I really thought I was going to use my good camera. I've been working on it for maybe the last 2 or 3 hours. There was a slight chance that I was going to meet my sister and mom at Panera for like an early dinner, but that didn't pan out. Mom wanted to stay home and rest. It was, well, I will talk about it. Yesterday was my middle sister's 50th birthday. She wishes. 50th wedding anniversary party, and it was wonderful. You might remember my oldest sister had hers in October. We had so much fun, and it was, you know, it's a big deal. It's really a big deal. And you know, my sisters are so contemporary and sharp, and you know, just anyway, we had such a nice time. So where was I going with this? Oh, so anyway, it was a big day for my mom, you know, so she would rather stay home and rest. So I've been working on that ding-dong camera for 2 or 3 hours. Video, watching YouTube video, going to Canon. I've been to lessons. I do not understand why it is so hard for me to, there are so many controls. And a lot of the videos have, like, they'll say this will work for any Canon DSLR. We happen to be using a EODH 800 blah blah blah. I understand that the settings are the same, but I don't know where to find those settings. There's probably, without exaggeration, there's probably 100 places to look. Like, you click one button and there's 6 options, and you go into each option and there's another 4 options, and none of them are called shutter speed. There are all these little symbols and things. If something would just say shutter speed, I would find it and I would click through it and I would set it. And you know, I don't know if this happens to you, but when you don't know what you're doing, maybe if you were new to your phone or new to a laptop or way back with computer, whatever, you just keep clicking until you finally land up where you need to be. Of course, you've clicked so much, you have no idea how you got to where you are. So even if you get to the right place, you can never replicate it. I am so frustrated. So back to a very good friend of mine, does a lot of photography. She's actually been in magazines, and she shoots professionally, and I think I'm just going to go sit at her house and say, can you please just step 1, click on, turn dial to manual, click the Q button, scroll to AF button lock. Yeah. Anyway, I'm actually upset. So I talked about this week. That was kind of the big lead up, was my sister's and brother-in-law's 50th wedding anniversary. Spectacular food, everything. I mean, we just had such a good time, and the weather was beautiful. As was her wedding day. I was 11, as I recall, when I stood up as the junior bridesmaid, and that was nice. Instacart, I meant to tell you about this last week. I don't know if it's available in your area. It is $99 for the year, and it is a grocery delivery service in our area. As long as you spend $35, which for us is like nothing, the delivery is free. They do our main grocery chain, which in the Chicago area is Jewel Osco, which is also CVS, Binny's, which is a huge liquor chain, Aldi's, I did an Aldi delivery, Costco, can you imagine Costco, and Tony's Market, which I know is in the Chicago area, I don't know it well, and Butera, which is another family-owned smaller chain of markets, and I believe Mariano's, which is kind of a step down from Whole Foods, but that kind of thing. Now, you can't order from all 5. If you, I mean, you can, but you need to be at 35 for each one, and each would come in a separate delivery. It's not like you have one person who runs from Binny's to get your wine and Costco to get your whatever, your ribs, and then to Jewel to do your regular grocery shopping, and Aldi for the deals. So but I did Aldi, and it's wonderful. So $99 the entire year from all of those places. And I know I will begin using it more and more. And somebody pointed out, and it's very true, that you actually, because you're not getting into temptation, you're not saying, oh, you know, you're there to buy broccoli, and all of a sudden you're looking going, oh, gee, that asparagus at $4.99 a pound looks good. Well, right now asparagus isn't that expensive, but you're not buying into all this temptation. And so you land up saving money, even though you might have to tip the driver. And I was very graciously, I asked someone, what do they tip their drivers? Because, and they said typically about $5. So sounds good to me. Now, of course, if I had them bringing in 9,000 bundles, I would do more. But Instacart. So if you have that availability, Aldi delivered, Costco delivered. Now, I did notice at Costco I couldn't get the roast chicken, like the fresh food was, you know, because I imagine that varies maybe, you know, in terms of inventory and things, but what a fabulous, fabulous idea. $99 for the year. So this was good. Got my Sephora. I did a small, very small Sephora order. I cannot believe it's coming out of my mouth. Loving the Milk Hydro Gripping Primer. It is a pump, so it's not the typical Milk, you know, kind of stick that whatever. I am loving it. Loving it. Okay, I've only used it 2 times. 3 times, 2 times. Primer and I, like, it's a mystery. I buy every single one I can get my hands on because I keep thinking something will keep my makeup on with this oily skin. It's very tacky. You put it on, like, you actually have to wash your hands afterwards. And you just let it set for a minute, and it stays very tacky. You know when you have sticky lip gloss and you're kind of going, mwah, that's what this is. And then I use my beauty blender just to apply my foundation. I will tell you, I got home last night. I mean, I was dancing, I was drinking. I mean, it was a party. And the weather was very nice, although not humid. My makeup looked fabulous. Fabulous. This just doesn't happen to me. And I did not touch up at all. At all. So that was exciting. I don't have too much else really to say for this past week. It was a very, very busy, once again, very busy week at work. Intense, very intense, very intense, and which is fine because that's what I thrive on, and I'm good. I'm good with that. I'm really good with that. It gets a little harder the older you get, but it keeps, you know, keeps the brain cells going in the most intense way. And did I make anything exciting for dinner this week? You know, if you buy the I don't know if it's Genia or Butterball, but they sell just the turkey breast. Now, they're not bone-in. They're just the boneless. They're maybe, I don't know, this big. They're frozen. They come with a gravy pouch. You can put it in your crock pot frozen. Of course, I always use my liner, which is the best invention ever. Put it in frozen. Take the gravy packet. Pour it over. You know, close your crock pot. Put it on high for 8 hours. Don't look at it. Like, don't look at it. It is so delicious. Now, the gravy is, you know, because the turkey is cooking and all the juices come out, so you don't really have a gravy. It's way watery. But you might want to make a separate gravy and put that over noodles or rice and chop up the turkey, you know, or slice up the turkey. It's so moist. It is so delicious. So I made that this week. Did I do anything? Not unusual, but I'm just trying to think. Oh, we had, I did reheated pizza for the first time in the air fryer. This was, I like thin crust pizza. There's one chain, if you've been to Chicago, live in Chicago, Lou Malnati's. There's a lot of big names that kind of do this deep dish, but I just like Lou Malnati's because of the crust. And so we had that, and I don't mind eating it cold the next day, but I thought, let me try it. Those are not my dogs. Oh dear. That doesn't sound happy. Oh no. I hope somebody comes. Okay, good. Oh, Lucy, you're going to go to the rescue, huh? Because that's like not a good, that's like a ouchie kind of crying. And I've never heard it coming from that way. Anyway, what was I talking about? The Luminetti. So I warmed it in the air fryer. These are ginormous pieces of pizza. So I kind of shoved one in. I put it in cold. In other words, I didn't preheat the air fryer. I put it in cold, put it at 390 for like 7 or 8 minutes. I have the dial. I don't have a digital, so it's hard to tell exact time. Oh, the crust was back to crispy. It was so good. So that was yummy. That's really it wasn't a big week. It was mostly work, 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 and just incredible disappointment with the camera. I got this new cord that I needed. I know, Lucy, did somebody get hurt or get in a fight? Yeah. So that's my Sunday. I hope you had a good week. I hope to have a good week this week. I hope the weather. I am going to insert, I took a picture of it. Have I been telling you about my duck? I have a duck laying eggs. A duck, not a robin, not a sparrow, a duck laying eggs and sitting on it overnight. So it always sits overnight and early into the morning, like about 8, 9 o'clock it'll leave. On my deck, I have a giant bowl of pansies. First there was one egg. I handled it. I figured, oh, she's not coming back. It snowed in Chicago. We had that very late snow a couple weeks ago. And the whole thing, and then all of a sudden there were 3 eggs. And now there are 5 eggs. And I have dogs that come out on the deck all day long. I can't even imagine. Like, I don't want to move it because I'm sure she's thinking, well, snakes won't get to these eggs. I don't, you can hardly see her because the pansies around her are high. But if they turn into baby ducks, what are Banks and Lucy going to do? If you have any idea, maybe once they're babies I can move it, but then I don't want some animal eating them. Oh. See you all. Keep you informed of the ducks, the baby ducks, and I'll insert the clip of the eggs. They're just eggs, but I'll insert the clip at the end. Take care. Bye-bye.